Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So we're live today and on a few channels. So we welcome anyone who's joining us today. Please put your comments in the chat as we talk about something that's very important to us. As we approach the crossroads of life after 60, we tap into our wisdom with the dedication to become the best version of ourselves. And a lot of wisdom comes with that. So we look forward to that. We understand that empowerment is something on a different level now. We hear the word empowerment throughout our lives, but it's at a different level now. So we understand that by lifting ourselves, we are also lifting others. That's our mission, and it can contribute to our legacy. So, in today's episode, I welcome a dynamic, self made entrepreneur who overcame obstacles with unrelenting, positive nature. She's a farm girl with a farm girl ethic and a work ethic and a conscious choice to thrive rather than merely survive. I present to you the mistress of reinvention, the transformation catalyst, and the next business strategist, Isabel Alexander. So I'll tell you a little bit about Isabel. Isabel cultivated an award-winning $10 million plus global chemical business, and she grew it from her dining room to the boardroom tables in many international organizations. With 50 plus years of business experience across diverse industries, Isabel is a respected advisor, coach, mentor, and a role model. Her numerous awards include Canada's 100 Powerful Women and Canada's Top 100 Women Entrepreneurs. Please join Isabel as we unwrap the word encore today. And as Isabel inspires dedication to building your own success ladder to impact others and live your legacy while you are alive. Hello, Isabel. So lovely to have you with us.
Thank you, Patricia. And with that introduction, I feel like I got a standing ovation even before the encore.
Yes, yeah. Okay, standing ovation, and now the encore.
Yes. Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about a few things today that you and I actually agree on many of the things around, like this word about encore. But before we do that, um, let us know or share a little bit of insight on how we remain dedicated to becoming the next best version of ourselves as we lift ourselves and then build what you call our own success ladders, and at the same time lift others by example and by empowering them to build their own ladders.
Well, thank you, Patricia. It's just so fabulous to be able to share these thoughts because I'm delighted that you and I rediscovered each other after many, many years, and that it reaffirmed just how much we have in common. Not only the word encore and the philosophy of lifting others, giving a hand up, not a hand out, but that there is just a groundswell of individuals like us in our 50s, 60s, 70s that are on fire to really change our attitudes, our paradigms about the numbers ticking up on the clock, but and to really flip that around to something that you and I were talking before we went on air, that it's not aging if you set this mind, but it's living. And that's what for me it's about. It's understanding that if I make a conscious decision to really live full out and become more and more of my best self, then I have the capacity, I have the resources, I have the energy to help other people really embrace who they are and want to be more of themselves. And that creates this incredible ripple, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, you mentioned about living, and you also talk about with I think one of the words you talk about is vitality.
Yes.
Okay, can you say a little more about that?
But vitality for me isn't about a hair care product that I think, we used to think in our generation, but it's about the attitude, the mindset, whether you feel like you're physically able to do some of the things that you used to do or not. It's the desire to stay fresh and curious and to continue to learn, be a little, to want to expand as you get older. There, I said that older word. To be able to expand our desire to do more, because we've been accumulating through our lifetime all this knowledge, all
Yeah.
this experience. So we're really positioned to do a great deal now. And that, for me, is the catalyst to feeling vital, feeling valued, feeling like I am, so positioned to do more in my life.
And I just want to let you know we have Susan Jensen on chat with us. So, Susan, I'm going to invite you to either comment or ask a question, because here's the opportunity to meet Isabel and get some great insight and inspiration from her. And with that, we're going to move on to the question about the word encore. Now, it could be a coincidence, or it could have been that Isabel and I were on the same wavelength way back when we thought, okay, what's the next part of our life? And rather than talking about aging or getting older, it's like we are now on this track of longevity, right? I love that as well. Like, we are living longer.
Mhm.
So there is an opportunity for us to have an encore. So, Isabel, please explain what you mean by encore. I think it's pretty much the same as me, but we can talk about it so other people can get a good picture of what encore is.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that we share that love of that word, and to me, the picture that it paints is as what you say. Encore means more. If you're in the theater and you're applauding because you've loved the performance, you want more.
Want more? Yeah.
That's what I feel. I want more out of my life. I want more love, more memories, more experience, more abilities to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very happy that we share that vocabulary.
Yeah, yeah. And you talk about writing a script for the next
Mhm.
part of your life,
Yeah,
and to ensure that what you have, and I love this part, what you have is not just more, but it's of more value, right?
yeah.
Share a little more about that.
The origin of that for me was when I sold that company that you spoke about in my introduction, and had what seemed at the time this particularly great opportunity to retire young and enjoy a life of leisure after working so hard for so long and building the enterprise. But quickly I felt empty and I felt uncomfortable in that role. And it took me quite a while to figure out what was going on, what was wrong. And I was really embarrassed, actually, that once I figured out I was suffering from an identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer knew who I was. I mean, I didn't have that business card anymore that told me I was the CEO of something important. And I didn't know how I was going to be valued by other people. I didn't know how to introduce myself at a cocktail party because suddenly I wasn't anything except retired. And that sidebar helped me develop my other philosophy that I will only ever retire from the things I don't like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so redefining what the word retirement means is also a part of, I think, this opportunity to have these conversations with everybody. And so after attending all the lectures and reading all the books on reinvention after retirement, I found that there wasn't anything that I really connected to. And a lot of the material was based on financial planning
Mm-hmm.
or developing, a better golf swing. And it was all, for the most part, really generated by men. And I thought, well, how am I going to figure out who I am now. And out of that question, which I was asking myself several times every day, looking in the mirror, I wrote a book and I published the book called Who Am I Now? For my 65th birthday. And I shared my journey of figuring out the system, the process of figuring out who I wanted to become next, which I
Mhm.
think is the important part in this, is that we can't stay who we were forever because, I mean, there's a, we're off the stage. But knowing who you want to become next and figuring out how to get there includes being able to write a new script for yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
It includes deciding what stage you're going to play on now. Like, what
Mhm.
is the role that you're going to play? Who's the cast and crew that's going to be with you in that successful new encore? And how do you produce that so it actually becomes a reality? And that was the process that I created and became the encore catalyst.
Wow, that fits a lot with you're talking about retirement. Retirement has always been thought of as a reward for years of long work,
Yeah.
right? However, there are benefits to work, and one of them is that it did help to define who we were at different phases, right?
Yes.
So once we don't have that kind of work anymore, we have to find a new way to, as a catalyst, to find out who we are now. So I think that what you were talking about is a great process, and I love what you said about who's in the cast, because we also appreciate we have to have a cast that's going to support us, not hinder us, right? So I think.
Yeah. Yes, and that's very true because not everybody wants us to
Mm,
play a new script or become star in a new role, right? They're very comfortable in their relationship with us as who we were.
mhm.
So that does require some strategy, and that's part of my process, is that whole strategy about reallocating some relationships in our lives and deciding who else we need to attract,
Yes.
cultivate, and nurture in this new part of our lives, our new starring role in my vernacular.
I love that new starring role, because it is our starring role. Who we are is we are the star in our lives, right? And yeah,
Yes, and if we aren't, and if we don't give that to ourselves, and we don't step into that spotlight, then the world has lost something of great value,
mhm.
right? Which takes us back to what you and I also share on, is that by becoming the best version of yourself, you then can do more for other people.
The picture that comes up, or the image that comes up for me, is that the encore is about opening up the curtains again on stage so that you can step out again, right? And so you may have performed in a certain role during this play. Now you get to come out onto an encore. So I love everything that comes with that word encore, that description.
Yes.
You also talk about creating your legacy while you are alive, right?
Mhm.
So share more about how you talk to people about how you influence them to actually take that on, rather than it being something that they're leaving for someone else.
Well, that's the whole point. The saddest thing in the world is the picture of someone's funeral and an individual delivering a eulogy, hopefully saying some nice things about them.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? And that then it's too late, right? It's too late for us to have done anything about what we have said. And as Maya Angelou said, it's people won't remember what you said. They will remember how you made them feel. So we have a choice rather than to wait till we have expired or left the stage in the encore vernacular, to choose the legacy, choose who we want to become and how, and live it out while we are present to be able to experience it, because that's the best part too. Um, Feeling the joy, being present, and we are able to influence it and impact it while we're alive.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, so you think of legacy as being a gift that you give to other people, but
Mhm.
living your legacy while you're alive is actually a gift that you give to yourself, and you get to hone it even better so that you can give more and bring more people along with you. So I love that whole concept.
Thank you.
And to me, it's about fulfillment as well. It needs to be whatever you're doing needs to add fulfillment to your life. That's the simplest part. And it's not the selfish part, but by being fulfilled, then you are going to be able to lift other people to that same level of fulfillment, right?
Yeah, because whether we're aware of it or not, people are always watching
Mhm.
us and learning from us. So if they are observing us being unhappy, unfulfilled, playing small, being disappointed, unhappy with our lives, that's that's what they get to take away.
Yeah.
But if they observe us going, yes, I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that and go, make that commitment joyfully. Then we are giving them that gift of maybe I should do something too, or maybe I can. If she can do it, why can't I do it? Right?
It's also the gift of looking forward to something, because
Yeah.
if we're giving that gift to especially younger generations, it changes their perspective about what living in the 60s and 70s looks like, right? And they have their own, well, everyone has their stereotypes and biases, but that's so important for us to be very powerful in that, being a role model for younger generations so that they can see there's something to look forward to.
One of my proudest legacies is my relationship with my granddaughters, and they've adopted this. They're starting to grow into this whole realization that they are in charge of the impact that they are leaving in the world, and that they consciously can lift as they climb. And by building their own success ladders, they are then able to, they can empower others as well by example or by hands-on um, delivery.
Mhm. This is putting you on the spot a little bit, but can you give an example of building a ladder and bringing other people up with you after you've built your ladder? Can you give an example of that?
Well, absolutely. And the whole origin of that mantra and philosophy for me was when I was that 16-year-old single teen mom, and the number of people that I recall to this day who gave me a hand up by teaching me skills, giving me an opportunity to work and earn a living and grow my confidence and grow my ability to continue to, support my family and to grow into being an entrepreneur myself.
Mhm.
So I'm a living, breathing example of that. And to this day, for me, paying it forward, paying it backwards, paying it 360 degrees, I think is the example of how I'd like to see the world be.
Mhm. And so, to clarify something you said before, it's about, not a handout, it's a hand up, right? So we lift up, rather than live by handouts. And I think that's such an important message to send to, not just people maybe 10 years younger than us, but the much younger generations that, start to build your own success ladder. You
Mhm.
go up a few rungs and stay there for a while, but continue to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because to me, philanthropy isn't just writing a big check, and neither is lifting as you climb. It isn't about just how much money do you have that you can throw at somebody or pay for them to go to college or whatever. It's about taking time, recognizing them as an individual, sharing sincerely your energy, your experience, your perspective,
Yeah.
giving them a high five to go forward, and seeing the individual strength and qualities in them that you can encourage.
Hmm. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life when you recognized what maybe this time of your life would look like and how fulfilling it would be?
It's vividly etched in my brain. Early in the growth of my company, I was very surprised to have been selected to win a business award in the community. And I was asked to speak at a women's group shortly after that. I was kind of a nobody in the community up until that point. And I'd never spoken publicly that I had actually, thought about before, and thought, I don't know what to talk about. And I don't have time to figure out how to create this polished presentation. So I'm just going to show up as me and tell my story of how, I went from here to there and what it was like as a woman, as a mother along the way. And I delivered that speech to the group in the room, and it was dead silence. And I kept thinking, oh my God, have I ever bombed my first professional speaking engagement? So after I finished my talk, and like ad-libbing like mad along the way, thinking, how am I going to make them laugh? I'm going to do this. Um, I was just seeing all these very serious faces in front of me. When I finished, there was what seemed like a long, protracted silence. And then suddenly the whole room rose to their feet, applauding and making all this noise. And I thought, oh my God, what's happened? Are they happy that I'm finished?
Or were they saying encore, encore?
In fact, that was. So
Yeah.
there was a lineup afterwards coming and talking to me, and they all were saying the same things. Thank you for sharing your honest, authentic story because you didn't know, but you shared mine too.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And that's when I knew.
That's
That
the bonding.
I knew that in sharing my own life's lessons, warts and all, that I was giving other women permission to step out of the shadows and
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
to see the value in everything that they have.
Mhm. Mhm. And giving them a voice as well through
Mhm.
your voice. So tell our audience today about how they can get the best way for them to contact you, Isabel.
So much joy in being able to do this now at this stage of my life. So I'm spending a lot of my time working with women entrepreneurs that have kind of lost the love with their business and really are looking to figure out their encore life to make it so easy. I did an interview a few weeks ago that really explains what I do and who I do it for and why. And to get to that interview, you just have to text 33777. Oh, that's the text number. Text the word encore. You'll get the link to that video, and it tells you the story
Oh.
of what I can do to help you create your encore and transform your life and maybe transform your business at the same time.
Hmm. And I will put that in the show notes. Just to repeat again, it's text the word encore to 33777, but it
Right.
will be in the show notes. And also, Isabel's email is isabel at the encorecatalyst.com. I'll put that in the notes as well. Plus her website, the encorecatalyst.com. Isabel, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, I just encourage everybody to really embrace the fact that you're not getting older, you're getting better. You are living, and it's your choice to do so. And by showing up as the best version of you, you really can do so much to lift others and celebrate life.
Thank you. And there is so much joy in being dedicated to a mission like that, of developing your best self and creating your own success ladder and lifting others up as you do that. This can be a part of your encore, all of us, and part of your legacy. So please contact Isabel to explore how working with the Mistress of Reinvention and Transformation Catalyst will lift you to your best self. Thank you to my audience and to Isabel's followers. Thank you to those of you who joined us live on chat. And join me each week as I interview women like Isabel, because they have such great inspiration and they're thought leaders in their industries and in their profession, and also thought leaders about finding fulfillment and joy. You can visit my website at patriciamuir.com. Please read the Encore Weekly blog. If you enjoy the blog, please sign up so that you get that blog every week in form of a newsletter. And there are a couple of worksheets that you can download so that you can start working on your Encore. And by all means, also contact Isabel because her insights are very important. And even though we think similar about it, we both bring different flavors to it. So please reach out to Isabel. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Patricia.